Ever feel like your possessions own you rather than the other way around? It's a sensation that many of us have encountered. You look around and see an endless sea of stuff. Clothes you never wear, gadgets you barely use, and trinkets that serve no purpose. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, as if the things you own are starting to own you. But what if there was another way? What if we could turn the tide on this wave of possessions that threatens to engulf us? Enter minimalism, a philosophy that champions the idea of less is more. It's all about stripping back, removing the excess, and focusing on what truly matters. It's about clean lines, simple forms, and a lack of ornamentation. More than just a design aesthetic, it's a lifestyle choice that promotes simplicity and intentionality. Imagine a life with less clutter, less stress, and more freedom. That's the promise of minimalism. Minimalism didn't start as a lifestyle philosophy. Its roots trace back to the world of design. This is a statement that may surprise many, but it's the truth. Minimalism as we know it today originated in the mid-20th century within the realms of art, architecture, and design. Let's travel back in time to the post-war period of the 1960s. The world was recovering from the chaos and destruction of war, and there was a shift in artistic and architectural expression. Artists and architects sought to break away from the complexities and intricacies of the past. They desired a fresh, simplified approach to creation, and thus, minimalism was born. In the world of art, minimalism was characterized by extreme simplicity. Artists used basic geometric shapes, clean lines, and a limited color palette to convey their messages. The focus was not on the ornate or the elaborate, but on the essential. The art was stripped down to its bare elements, removing unnecessary details and embellishments. This was a radical departure from previous art movements, which often celebrated complexity and detail. Turning to architecture, minimalism also made a significant impact. Minimalist architects embraced open spaces, simple forms, and a lack of ornamentation. Buildings were designed to be functional and efficient, with every element serving a purpose. Ornamentation and excessive decoration were seen as distractions from the building's primary function. And in design, minimalism was about creating products that were simple, functional, and easy to use. The principle of form follows function was paramount, meaning the design of an object should primarily relate to its intended function or purpose. These minimalist principles in art, architecture, and design were revolutionary at the time. They challenged the status quo and proposed a new way of thinking about creativity and functionality. But the influence of minimalism didn't stop there. From a design philosophy, minimalism evolved into a broader lifestyle choice, a way to approach life itself. It began to permeate various aspects of our lives, promoting the idea of simplifying one's life by decluttering and focusing on what truly matters. But that's a story for another scene. So how does a design philosophy translate into a lifestyle? Imagine a world where simplicity rules and clutter is non-existent. This is the world of minimalism. But don't be mistaken, minimalism isn't about deprivation. Rather, it's about removing the unnecessary to make room for the essential. The principles of minimalism can be applied to our daily lives in a multitude of ways. Let's start with decluttering. We're all guilty of holding on to things we don't need, whether it's an old pair of shoes we haven't worn in years or a pile of magazines collecting dust. Decluttering involves removing these unnecessary items from our lives. It's a process that promotes simplicity and intentionality, freeing us from the physical and mental clutter that can often weigh us down. But minimalism isn't just about decluttering. It's also about being intentional with what we bring into our lives. This could mean choosing to buy a high-quality item that will last for years, rather than several cheaper ones that will need to be replaced frequently. It's about making mindful choices, and considering the value and purpose of each item we own. And then, there's the concept of prioritizing experiences over material goods. Remember that trip you took to the mountains, or the time you spent a whole day reading a good book? These experiences, the moments that make us feel alive and connected, are what minimalism encourages us to prioritize. It's about valuing the intangible over the tangible, the memories over the merchandise. Minimalism is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It looks different for everyone. For some, it might mean living with only the bare essentials. For others, it could mean simplifying their routines or commitments. The beauty of minimalism lies in its flexibility and adaptability. It's a personal journey, a way of life that encourages us to focus on what truly matters to us. In a world that often equates more with better, minimalism dares to challenge that notion. It invites us to question our habits, reassess our priorities, and make space for the things that bring us joy and fulfillment. It's about living with less, so we can live more. But why would anyone want to live with less? What's the benefit, you might ask? Well, let's explore the myriad benefits that minimalism can bring to one's life. First and foremost, minimalism can drastically reduce stress. In a world where we're constantly bombarded by stimuli, the simplicity and clarity of a minimalist lifestyle can be a breath of fresh air. By reducing the number of possessions we own and the amount of clutter in our spaces, we can create an environment that is calming and focused. It's like cleaning your room and feeling that sudden sense of relief and order. That's the feeling minimalism can bring to your entire life. But the benefits of minimalism extend far beyond stress reduction. It also promotes increased freedom. When we're not tied down by possessions, we're free to explore, to experience, and to grow. We're not weighed down by the burden of upkeep, maintenance, and the constant pursuit of the next best thing. We have the freedom to travel lightly through life. Moreover, minimalism helps us to focus on what truly matters. It's a lifestyle that promotes intentionality. When we choose to live with less, we're not just throwing things away, we're making a conscious decision about what we want in our lives and what we don't. This process helps us to identify what's truly important to us, whether that's relationships, experiences, or personal growth. In addition, minimalism can also lead to financial freedom. When we stop the cycle of constant buying and accumulating, we can save money and even reduce debt. This financial freedom can open doors to new opportunities and experiences that material possessions could never offer. And let's not forget about the environmental benefits. By consuming less, we reduce our carbon footprint and contribute to a more sustainable world. So, you see, minimalism isn't about deprivation, it's about intentionality. It's about making space for what truly matters. It's about creating a life that's filled with purpose, freedom, and joy. And who wouldn't want that? Minimalism isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It's an approach that is as unique as we are individuals, as diverse as our dreams, and as flexible as our personal values and aspirations. The beauty of minimalism lies in its subjectivity. It's not about stripping your life down to the bare essentials or living out of a backpack, unless of course that's what appeals to you. It's about conscious reduction, intentional decisions, and a focus on what truly matters to you. You see, minimalism doesn't demand that you live with as little as possible. Rather, it encourages you to live with what is essential for you. This could mean decluttering your home, simplifying your commitments, or even just spending less time on your phone. The key is to identify what adds value to your life and let go of the rest. Consider it as a tool that can assist you in finding freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from worry, freedom from being overwhelmed, from guilt, from the trappings of the consumer culture we've built our lives around. What's crucial to remember is that minimalism isn't about deprivation. Instead, it's about eliminating the unnecessary so we can make room for what makes us happy, what inspires us, what we love, and what allows us to live in alignment with our most authentic selves. Minimalism is a journey of discovery. It's about finding out who you are, what you value, and what brings you joy, and then aligning your life to reflect those discoveries. It's about finding the courage to let go of everything else. So whether you're drawn to minimalism for its aesthetic appeal, its promise of a less cluttered life, or its potential to reduce stress and increase happiness, remember that your minimalist journey is yours alone to shape. And as you embark on this journey, remember to be patient. Change doesn't happen overnight, and it's okay to take small steps. After all, minimalism is not an end state, but a continuous process of making mindful choices. At its core, minimalism is about finding contentment in simplicity, in fewer but more meaningful possessions, relationships, and experiences. Embrace this philosophy, and you'll find that the benefits of minimalism extend far beyond a tidy home or a streamlined wardrobe. It's a shift in mindset that can truly transform your life. So, are you ready to embrace a less is more lifestyle? Minimalism, as we've discovered, is not just a design aesthetic, but a lifestyle philosophy rooted in simplicity and functionality. It's about stripping away the unnecessary, decluttering our lives, and focusing on what truly matters. This approach encourages us to own fewer possessions, to be deliberate in our purchases, and to prioritize experiences and relationships over material goods. It challenges us to question consumerism and the notion that more possessions equate to greater happiness. Instead, minimalism promotes living with purpose, emphasizing quality over quantity, and finding contentment in a simpler, more intentional way of life. It's a personal journey, with each of us adopting aspects that resonate with our values and goals. As we conclude, Consider how you might incorporate these principles into your own life. Remember, minimalism isn't about having less, it's about making room for more time, more peace, and more life.